Wow, we got there in the end. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I was going to say good morning, but it's not morning. Everyone, it's Harry from Hotspur TV back with another preview with Harry Scarf again. And today we've also got Muzzy, who's a Fulham fan. So first of all, Muzzy, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. So me and Muzzy have known each other for a while, so he's going to be the Fulham fan in this preview. And Harry Scarf, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Nice to be back on. Obviously, going to Craven Cottage tomorrow. So really looking forward to discussing the game. Looking forward to tomorrow itself. So it should be a good one.
I just want to big up the chat. So first of all, Luca, AFC, and big up. Not big up to your team though. Big up Molly, who's always in the chats. Big up that Spurs podcast. You're right, Carl. And Jay, big up. And who else am I missing? We've got Jay. We've got JJ, of course. Big up, mate. How you doing, mate?
As always, big up.
Always. Yeah, every chat. And I think that's it. And only one fix. Yeah, big up. Get Muzzy to switch his phone landscape.
I don't want to ruin what I've got at the moment. My phone's already been messing up all day, so I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, Marley ain't going to risk anything. Sandra, big up. I think she's from one of yours, I guess. Okay, so first we'll get straight into it. I think we're going to touch quickly on the Villa game because, as usual, we go through the previous game and then we'll go straight into Fulham and among other topics. So first of all, Harry, the Villa result.
Yeah, very good.
For the performance, I'll have my own take on it, but you can go first.
I know what it's like with you, so I was going to save that for after. But no, overall, very happy. I didn't, for 1 minute think that we'd go to Villa Park and win 4-0. For me, it was a case of first half, we looked good, maybe a little bit vulnerable defensively, bit shy of shooting it. Okay, it is what it is. We get the first goal, absolutely crucial. Obviously, Villa, having played in the week at Amsterdam against Ajax, were very tired. Obviously, a lot of those players, to be fair, played 90 plus minutes, so they were tired. And once you go 1-0 behind, I think that kind of mental feeling kind of kicked in for Villa, and also they went 2-0 down. John McGinn lost his head, and from that very moment, the game was gone from Aston Villa. And towards the end, we took our chances, and it ended up 4-0. So whether it's a 4-0 game or not, it doesn't matter. We've won. We've won for me a crucial 6-pointer. We're in pole position now for top four. I'm not saying we're going to get it, but we've definitely helped ourselves. So overall, very happy. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. I still think we look vulnerable defensively. I think sometimes, like in the first half, we're afraid to shoot. But generally, positive signs, improving, and ultimately, that's a big result. And it's a statement win, and it's a statement performance.
Okay, I'll go my take on it. So the first half I thought was pretty bad. I think probably for both teams, if I'm being honest. Villa kind of set up how I expect them to, actually. I did think they'll go over the low block. But it felt like, to me, that they were a bit like leggy. They did play midweek, went to Ajax, and apparently that was a very big performance. I didn't watch any of it, but I heard that they
done really well.
They played for the draw, and they got the draw.
And they got it, yeah.
Clean sheet. And
obviously they're through now. They beat Ajax 4-0 at home, and they're through, so that was absolutely huge for them.
Yeah, so like for them, they're probably going to go for Conference League anyway to win it, because obviously Emery's amazing at these European trophies. He's got a history of it, so it doesn't surprise me. And maybe they'll find a route to the Europa League through that way. But it kind of seemed to me also that once we got the first goal or two, the game went away from them because obviously they're chasing at that point. And once the red card went in, that was it. Basically, it was game over. I just sat back and I was like, "This is going to be like, it could be like any sort of score." Muzzy, did you watch any of the game? Do you want to do quick thoughts on it?
I wasn't in the country, so I didn't really watch it. But I was just surprised when I saw the score. I was like, "Wow, beating Villa 4-0 at their ground, where it's probably one of the hardest places to go this season, past City and Liverpool." Yeah. But beating Villa is an impressive result, especially on their turf.
What? I don't know. That was a bit random. It's definitely not on my channel. But yeah. So I wanted to quickly touch one more thing before the season ticket prices. Harry, have you read Kulusevski's story at all?
Oh no, I just one of those things that you go around to get round to doing, you just don't do it. But from what I've heard, it's very, very positive. It's very open, very complimentary of Ange Postecoglou. And I like that. I've always said from players, I like them to be open, I like them to say how they feel, what they thought. There's no good a player coming out and going, we bad last season, all these other excuses and read from a script. I want players to be brutal and honest. No, we were dire last season. Unacceptable. It's unfair on the fans. The fans deserve a lot better. The club deserves a lot better. Be really, really brutal. And that's something, as if I was a player, I would be. And from what I gather, Kulusevski was very honest. And has gained a lot of respect from that, from among the Spurs fans. And I see it. People have constantly criticised Kulusevski, have given him credit, and I think as of this, we'll give him a bit of leeway, if you like. So I'd like to know, obviously, more what was in it, but nothing but positive things that come out of it.
I do feel for him because I read the whole thing. So me and David spoke about it on the podcast earlier on Tuesday. So if you guys don't follow that podcast already, me and David Billsby. And we do a podcast every Tuesday now. It comes out like a Thursday or Friday now. So just want to summarize it and quick thoughts, and then we'll go into the season ticket prices because I know that's what everyone's looking to talk about again. Like when I read it, I felt for him because he spoke a lot about how he was like some shy Swedish guy and he was kind of shunned at Juventus away. And as soon as Spurs called, he was like, I need to get out of here. So he went to Tottenham. And at the beginning, I kind of had empathy for his emotional sort of thing. But the one thing I didn't like was near the end. Okay, he praised Ange, which is fine, yeah. But he mentioned the Chelsea game where we lost 4-1, and he goes, "Oh, that's life to lose in that way." And I'm like, please. Like, I don't want a player to come out and say, "Oh, we were happy losing 4-1 at home to Chelsea." Like,
no, but I think the way we played was really promising. Because I was one of the fans at the end that clapped. I wasn't clapping the result. I was clapping the performance, the effort with 9 men to play well. And we can't kind of accept if that's the way.
He mentions a lot about the tactics in the sense of like he says something like, "Oh, we stuck to this way, and we are happy that we're happy playing." And I was like, really? Like we lost 4-1. Okay, I'll understand if we drew 1-1.
I thoughts on it. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, like
I get it.
To me, it comes across as like vibes rather than like, oh yeah, we're building to something successful. I'd rather he came out and said, we gave a good effort, but I'm really unhappy with the result. I'll be like, cool, that's fine. But the fact he goes, oh, this is life, this is vibes. I'm like, what?
Well, there you go. I love Ange Ball, but as we said before, and as one of my favourite lines to say, football's a results-based business, and football is a harsh game sometimes. Postecoglou needs to prioritise results over performances. Yeah, I'm glad we played really well against Villa, but I really, it's good to see us performing well. But if we played awful and scraped a 1-0 win, I'm not going to be sitting here complaining because we got the result and we won the 6-pointer. The results come before.
In an ideal world, you play well and you win the game.
In an ideal world, but if you can't perform, it make sure you win the game. If you can't win the game, make sure you don't lose it, and that's got to be something we have to do.
I feel like
we can see you got to make sure you don't lose it.
Ange probably doesn't fall on the latter. The second thing you mentioned, I don't think it falls on that. As in, if we lose control of the game, I don't feel like he's the kind of manager to try and steep. He'll just keep we lost that game against Wolves away in the last 5 minutes. Rather than like decide to stem the tide and tell him to control the ball and taking quick free kicks resulted in the goal. Yeah, he kind of just let them play the same way, and it was like
you keep it 1-1. Okay, it's frustrating. 2 points dropped, but still one more point on the board that would have helped us in this top 4 race. It's just that's mentality thing, isn't it? Really, in the space of what was it, 65 seconds to concede 2 goals? That's not right. That's mentality against a Wolverhampton Wanderers
team.
That's tactics as well, this season. Yeah, that's poor, and that's there's no excuse for that.
Yeah, so 12 minutes and we had an argument already. Okay. So Muzzy, I thought we'll go to you. Sorry for making you wait for 12 minutes. So season ticket prices. Obviously, Harry brought up a great point before we started the stream that your prices have gone up, I assume. Is it as much as Spurs, which is the 6%, and the 3% for premiums, and the Spurs memberships also went up last year, by the way. People tend to forget this. So what are the prices like? I'm not asking exactly what you pay because that's not like appropriate, but just tell us about the Fulham prices and how it compares to Spurs.
I feel like it's only the Riverside stand that's actually embarrassing prices. They've got free caps, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I'll openly say that I pay £520 for my seat, which is actually quite good for a Premier League standard.
That's a good price.
That's good, yeah.
It's a good price, but then literally the block next to my seat is an extra £150 or something. I'm thinking, what's the difference? Like, there isn't much, but I've got a feeling my season ticket's going to go up by at least 10% next season. 10%. That's what we're all fearing.
So it'll be £600 basically, I guess.
Pretty much. But we don't know what Fulham are going to do. They surprise us every year. This season was a face value ticket in the Riverside stand for the Man United game for £150.
For one
You
game.
know, for that one game against Man United, and I think against you lot it's £125 in the Riverside stand. It's a bit like, ooh, it's a bit disgusting.
Okay, now I'm going to ask your opinion on the Spurs ticket prices. Um, we pay some astronomical prices, probably the highest in the league, arguably. Do you think it's justified?
No, because the fact that your season tickets didn't go down this season because you had no European football, I get Levy wants to try make his money back for the stadium.
You just froze and you just left. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's signal. I don't know what happened there.
It's your Wi-Fi now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, sorry.
But
Carry on,
the thing is,
sorry.
Yeah.
what's it? Fans out there will still pay them season ticket prices.
Mm.
It's not like they're going to change it. You know, Tottenham fans still want to go watch their team play. They're going to pay the price, and it is the reality. It used to be a working class game where you can take your family, your kids, and now you've got to take out a mortgage to take your family to a football match now, which is pretty much a joke.
Mm.
Yeah.
But as in, the reason I say this is justified is like as in, you look at Arsenal now, they do pay really high prices like Spurs, but they're going to sign players like Declan Rice,
Yeah.
etc. Obviously, they had the Ozil in the past. When you look at Spurs, do you think that such high price is justified? As does it get reflected in pro recruitment? Because I guess being a Fulham fan, you can't understand why you guys can't buy the top players because it's a bit different.
We can't buy top players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different. But with you lot, you know, I look at your attacking force. Have you got a replacement for Harry Kane? Not really. You know, Richarlison, yeah, he's doing all right. He gets his goals here and there. But your human son who's not getting any younger, so you need to try and get a replacement for him. And if you're going to be splashing out that much money on the season ticket, you expect the same back by the board to sign players to make it worth your while.
Mm. Okay. And could I have you on? I just want to ask you something briefly because Harry's here. Because I'll be a good chance to put an opinion out. What did you think of Spurs' last two transfer windows under Ange?
Ben's been a good signing.
Hmm.
You know, he's been.
Yeah.
Did you sign a doggy under him?
No, he was before. Yeah, he was before.
No.
Porro was before as well. We signed Van der Ven, Vicario, Solomon,
Madison.
Madison.
Did you say Vicario?
Yeah, obviously Dragonson's just joined. Werner's come in.
Werner, very, very crucial, I think.
I mean, I think the only one that has flopped for you lot, mainly because he's injured, is Solomon.
You think? Okay. And because you already brought that up, I want your thoughts on Solomon and Sessegnon as well, because do they have this? I don't know if you've heard about Sessegnon's injury. Yeah, he's out for like a crazy amount of time. Do you think he has a future at Tottenham, and do you think Fulham might try and buy him back? And also with Solomon, same question really, and just your thoughts on him as a player. Because I know you've told me personally, but I don't think Harry's had your thoughts on Solomon.
With Solomon, I could not give two craps about him, honestly. He's left our club. He didn't really care about being with us. All right, yeah, he scored a couple of good goals, but he done my nut in the way he left the club. I didn't like it. And with Sessegnon, well, here's for the 30 mil is your problem now, isn't it?
All right.
Oh.
Because I remember you told me that. No, the reason I bring this up because I remember you told me you saw him more as like a winger, right, rather than a left back.
Like with Sessegnon, yeah, he plays better as a winger. You know, I think he played his best games under us, which made you lot want him because he played so good as a winger.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, he can play defensively. But since he's come to you lot, he's been so injury prone. Like, I don't remember him being that injured at Fulham.
Okay. Okay, we touched on your opinions on that. Harry, season ticket prices. You said you wanted to talk about it. So, what do you want to say?
Listen, firstly, Spurs, the increase, the 6% increase season ticket prices next season. I think that if you put it into context in terms of Arsenal's rises and other prices that we're seeing, for me, I don't like to say it's justified, but it's more understood. Of course, a lovely new stadium. We pay the price for that, and I personally think I know this is where we differ. I think that the recruitment has been a lot better recently, and Bax is we've not gone out there and signed a world class player. I personally think that will come. I think in the next few windows, but I think we've gone out there and we bought Maddison, and we got a third strong centre back, something I don't think we would have done before. And ultimately, I love Van der Ven, but at the time, overpaid for him. He's absolutely worth it. I think now, I think he'll be worth even more in the future. But at the time, I think we overpaid for him. So we're just doing things like that.
That's interesting because I didn't think we ever paid for him. I just think that was just the going rate for.
43 million at the time, Van der Ven.
Yeah.
He'd only had one season really in the Bundesliga to prove himself. I think
this is crazy prices nowadays. Unfortunately, it's just how it is.
Crazy prices. But I think, being honest with you, the time we bought him, he was a 25 million.
You think 25 million? I'd agree with you if it was 5 to 10 years ago. But
45 million now, but at the time of signing him, I think he was, 25 million, and that was really because of his pace. But the problem we have here with season ticket prices, I know we disagree on everything, but the problem isn't the increase in season ticket prices, but it's the scrapping senior concessions from the 2025-26 season, which exploits loyalty. It's disrespectful to senior fans, and I've had the privilege of speaking to some fans. It's quite sad actually. This week they've had season tickets. One was 40 years and one was 44 years. That planned that they would get these concessions, but now they can't, and now they have to look into the decision whether they'll be able to go and watch the football club. That they like and support, but ultimately they worked hard all their life, they deserve that. So I think in terms of a football issue, as Muzzy touched on, working class people, I want to say they're being forced out of the game. They've been forced out of the game, sadly. It's already been done, and that's a sad thing. And
biggest issue with that, Harry,
should come together, yes, but I don't think it's just a Tottenham issue.
But the biggest issue with that, though, is that to me it removes legacy fans, because if you think about it, these people can't bring their children or grandchildren, I guess, or children to game. I think I say grandchildren, children, because obviously these concessions are going to be get rid of, I assume, for good, right? So we're talking in 10 years. It's like they don't care about the actual Spurs fans. To them, it's just like, oh.
I'm more scared of what's going to happen in 10 years. It's like, we look at it now, we're thinking, oh my God, it's only gone up by 6%. God knows what it's going to be like in 10 years. There's going to be, every football club wants a new generation to come through. And how are they going to get that if their parents can't afford for them to come to a match?
That's what I'm trying to. Yeah, Muzz, you hit the nail on the head. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you can't bring the younger kids to the game if you can't go yourself, right? So it's like, I obviously, maybe one of these days, me and you will have kids at some point, right? So how am I going to think in the future? If I turn like 60, whatever, how am I going to afford to take my kids to the game? And myself, obviously, you can't just take it. They can't just go by himself. It's like a 10-year-old kid or something. So you need to think about that as well. And I think it's kind of reflected in, if you walk into the Spurs stadium now. I think there's a lot of day trippers. I don't think there's a lot of like fans who were there from like the beginning. You go to the Spurs shop and it's like £100 for a shirt, which is bloody insane, and then 125 for a Elite shirt. And I'm like, where are they getting these numbers from? Like, this is just a football shirt with a name on it.
But if you look at it from the Spurs point of view, they could, for me, nearly double the price as what they are now, and it's still going to be a sellout. Okay, might be they have to really push the season tickets, but I think generally that it'd be an absolute sellout every single game. And again, I don't understand that necessarily defending the club.
I'm not against broad fans, by the way. I don't want this to come out wrong, but there's people that come and they'll pay for like that. They say they go on a trip to London, right, to watch Spurs for one time. Yeah, and I don't want to come out as wrong because I know I'm friends with loads of foreign fans as well. And I don't want to come out wrong. But they'll end up, obviously, because they're going for that one time, they'll happily spend the one big money for that one ticket, right? But obviously, this happens because we're in the 21st century. This happens way more than people think. Yeah, so it's not just, obviously we're talking back in the 1900s where the planes were more expensive, blah, blah, it would never happen. But we're modern day era now, so this must happen all the time. I even see it because, I hear people sitting behind me saying, oh, I flew from Australia to come watch an Ange game or something. I don't know. example, or
Listen,
some Scottish.
I personally don't have a problem. I understand where you're coming from, but we're tourists, and I understand the prices because of the beauty of the new stadium. But the problem I have is, one, as I discussed there, the senior concessions, because that's exploiting loyalty. We all know that the football's nothing without fans, because ultimately you have the option to pay the price. With concessions, you get there, you've been very loyal to the club, you've invested absolutely thousands, you worked hard all your life, and then it's kind of stab in the back. Sorry, we're left with that. So that's for me one thing. The second thing is our away day ticketing system. It's impossible to get away ticket. We're talking 2,500 away capacity, and you've got at least 40,000 fans scrapping for tickets. And you get to the front of the queue. I've experienced this myself, and you get absolutely chucked to the back when the system has a fault.
Oh,
I was at number 2 at one point, and I just got chucked right to the back.
Do you know that was the case or not? If you don't mind asking.
Hey,
do you know why that was the case? Did they send you a notification or something?
No, it's for Villa. I was in the away ticket. It just said at first it said sold out. I looked into it later, and people got tickets after. I'm not going to create a big fuss about it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, no. Going back on track, obviously, I have the privilege to work with some football clubs like Fulham and Tottenham, and I love both and what they do. But ultimately, both are guilty of high prices. So ultimately, they both got to remember that football's nothing without fans.
To me, the 6% stinks of the fact that we lost money because we weren't in Europe, and Levy's trying to get it back.
But we don't need the money from the scrapping senior concession. That is not needed. We're not. I get it if it was a few years ago before the new.
This is how it come. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that's how it come across to me.
I know what you mean.
Like, so hold on, we're suffering because of your ineptitude. Like, I just don't understand.
Bonnie or Muzzy, if you know, do you know the prices of in the Riverside stand? Because I know
I think he says £150 more, right? Didn't you say or something? It's £150 more.
For the Spurs game, the tickets in the Hammersmith end, in the Riverside end, is 125.
He says away tickets. Marlon says away tickets are a problem for all Premier League clubs.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
Yeah,
I think it's the fact Marlon doesn't like to agree with me. I could have said that, and he probably would have said no. It's just a Spurs problem. We won't worry about that.
It seems like not a lot of people agree with you, to be honest.
I mean, that we've just released hospitality kind of stuff for the Riverside, and I feel like just applying for the hospitality season ticket as a joke, just so I can see what the prices are.
Oh, right, okay.
So could you imagine £3,000 isn't for no hospitality, it's just for a seat.
What? Just for one seat?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So these are our season ticket prices. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. They're 3 different categories. And then we've got a hospitality season ticket. Could you imagine what the prices will be for that? All right. I'm already looking, or I'm not buying it, but I'm thinking it's going to be like 20 grand to sit in the Riverside hospitality sector.
What?
That is my.
It's extortionate.
If you want, I'll apply for it, and then I'll send you. Then I'll send you it privately on how much it is, because I reckon how much it will be.
Yeah. Stand looks lovely though. That's what we'll say. That's less negative prices, but the stand looks gorgeous.
I haven't seen it.
The only time I've been at stand is for the FA Cup match. And don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a beer by the riverside, by the river. It's beautiful. They do events after the games where the players come out, do a post-match interview afterwards, which is quite nice. But I'm not going to pay more than 40 quid to sit in the Riverside stand at the moment. I would only go there for cup matches and pre-season maybe.
Oh, as in the hospitality stand, you mean? Or
No, just in the Riverside.
So you confused me when you started talking about hospitality. I was like, what?
I reckon if I went to a cup game for hospitality, I'll still be spending about £200-300 just to sit in a seat against Rotherham at home.
That's insane. That's actually insane.
That's bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was meant to be going to that, but I was ill. Yeah, I remember that.
So I think we'll get straight into the game because there's no arguments this week yet. So, Muzzy, how will Fulham line up? Can you tell us, please?
I reckon Super Bird Leno in goal.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have Castagna, Tosin, Bassi, and Anthony Robinson.
Mm.
We'll have Jalapalina with Lukic. We'll have Pereira in the middle. We'll have Iwobi on the right, and Harry Wilson on the left, and Rodrigo Muniz up top.
So who would you say is I must confess though I haven't watched a lot of Fulham. So can you tell us who the danger men are and what do you expect to happen in terms of like the tactics and the formation and stuff like that?
I think João Palhinha would definitely be the main factor in this game. He'll be jumping into tackles, probably get a yellow card. So if anyone here bet, put a yellow card for João Palhinha. He's just come back from a 2-match suspension. He was on the bench last game, and when he came off the bench against Wolves, he looked like he wanted to kill every Wolves player.
Interesting.
And then your most feared player, we've got Adama Traore on the bench.
And
I remember last time I mentioned his name, you got scared.
Yeah, that's true. And that reminds of Jacob on United Spurs of America. So big up to you because he loves Adama Traore.
Big up. He's great, Jacob.
Yeah,
but I think Harry Wilson will be a threat. Rodrigo Muniz. At the beginning of the season, I called him a donkey. Now he's like a semi-donkey. Like he's starting to get on his feet.
He's a striker, right? A striker, isn't it?
He's a striker, but with Jimenez got suspended or injured, and then he came in and he just started playing so good. I'm thinking, where the hell have you been, mate? Like, why have you only just started halfway through the season? If only you started when we needed a striker at the beginning of the season. But
I think similar to Højlund with Man United in terms of when they're playing well, that he's scoring goals. And Muniz, you think when Fulham needed a goal in so many games that he wasn't there, but now they're playing all right. I mean, it could be because of that, but now he's chipping in with the goals.
He's that kind of player that can bully your centre backs. He is starting to turn into I wouldn't say like Mitrovic, but he's built like a beast. And, I just want to hope he bullies your centre-backs tomorrow. And, yeah.
Do you think Van der Ven missing will be a factor then? Because of
100%. When we played at your ground, Van der Ven was there to clean up the mess. So I don't know who'll be there to clean up the mess, but it'll be interesting that battle.
We know what's going to happen.
And have you? I don't know. By the way, if you guys don't remember, Scarfy doesn't remember. Your brother supports Tottenham. So, what have you thought of Tottenham this season? What do you think is the danger man for you lot tomorrow? Apart from the obvious ones, I guess, like Maddison and so on, maybe. But how do you expect Spurs to line up?
It depends. If Richarlison's fit, then he'll
I think he's
play.
injured, isn't he, Harry, or not?
He'll be back.
I read something today saying he might be in the squad. Human Son, he'll be a threat, and he'll be an interesting one. And Werner, ex-Chelsea player, he wants to, it's always a bigger rival for him. I don't think we've actually played Chelsea when he was there, and if we did, I don't remember. But Werner's pace will be a bit threatening, but Tosin and Basti at the back, their pace is amazing, so they'll have it under control, hopefully.
Richie's back, apparently. Okay, interesting.
Oh, wow.
It gives us a bit of a conundrum up front, actually.
So in that case, he's beat his recovery date.
Yeah, because I'd be tempted to play Richarlison, Son, and Werner, but I don't know how that would work.
What do you have against Brennan Johnson? He's scoring goals and getting assists. You don't put him in the team. Come on.
But I'll tell you what, Brennan Johnson looks like he's doing better off the bench than he's actually starting.
Thank you. At least
I agree with that.
Sorry, did I stir something there?
We're lucky all the time. Don't worry about it.
We argue about Johnson probably like 90% of the time we want to stream. To be honest,
as soon as we mention the owners, there's a problem, and that's the whole show done. That's the whole evening gone.
We're not avoiding using Levy's name, so
yeah, it doesn't go down well, I'm afraid.
On a Friday, it turns into like a 3-hour stream.
Complete opposite opinions, I think, and it's interesting, especially with TJ as well.
Yeah,
it makes it spicy.
So I'm not going to but yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, for example, what you thought of Johnson, what you thought of just Richarlison, I guess, what you thought of just other, because I know your brother supports Tottenham, so I don't know how much Spurs you probably watch.
I mean, yeah, he'll be in the away section tomorrow. So
I was gonna say, are you going together and splitting?
Oh
at the
no,
entrance?
no, I'm
Oh.
driving. I'm driving to the ground and then I'll work afterwards. But I know
He's
he'll be
going
on.
broke on the bus, the boat or something, isn't he? Or
He,
something?
yeah, like
Yeah.
I even asked. I asked him, can I be on the boat party? I promise I won't sing any
Same
Fulham
on the
songs.
Spurs man. Yeah.
I said, come on, look, I'm your brother. Just let me on the boat. It's fine. Honestly, I know some of the Tottenham boys.
It's not like
fine.
Ryan and Miles was anything anyway. They probably wouldn't even care.
Oh, they will definitely say something.
Really? Oh, right. Okay.
100%.
Oh.
They'll be the reason why I get friends to represent.
All right. Okay. Maybe not then.
But what's it? I think Brendan Johnson, he's a good player. Like he done well for Nottingham Forest. It's obviously playing for Tottenham. It's a bigger expectation. You're playing for a bigger club. But him coming off the bench makes such a massive difference. Like I even go on, like when I don't watch the Spurs match, I look on flash scores and I'm like, oh, Brendan Johnson's come on. Then 10 minutes later, oh, Brendan Johnson's either got the goal or got the assist. I'm thinking, I do understand your frustration why he's not starting, but at the same time, he's just coming off the bench at the moment, and he's still young. Like next season, he could be a first teamer, but let him just get used to the way Ange plays. And
Absolutely.
What do you think his best position is, Muzzy?
I mean, I've only seen him at Spurs on the wing, but he can play striker. But I think he needs to bulk up. I think he'll get absolutely bullied by 75% of the centre backs in this Prem.
But I mean, like left or right wing, really. Not. I don't see him playing up front, really. Or do you think he plays as a second striker? I don't know. But we don't play that way, so
he's got the pace for it. It's just a strength he needs.
Because he really reminds me of Delhi. That's what I always get reminded of when I watch Johnson play.
Well, because the haircut.
No. I just think the style in which they play, like also just Johnson's, just the way they're very similar, not because of the way they look or anything. It's just
I do think Delhi's got did have a few more tricks and skills.
Yeah.
Johnson gets the job done. Delhi would try anything in any situation.
And the reason I say
is
because with Johnson, when I watch him, I don't know what his strongest position is. Obviously, he can play all across the front, but
I don't really know what his side is, but what's he usually play for Spurs? I don't really.
He's playing on the right. He's playing on the left.
Usually on the right, but he's on the left against Villa, and it was huge. It's causing so many problems to Matty Cash and
but that's probably Ange looking at doing his research, thinking right, Brendan Johnson might actually be good on the left for this game, and it's good to have a play like that can be versatile because if you get injuries, let's not say when you get injuries because you don't want to wish injuries on anyone, but if there are injuries. It's so good that you've got a versatile player that can switch sides in order for you not to ruin the way you play your game.
Like his versatility is a massive advantage. That's the one thing I'll definitely give him. But I just feel like I don't know. I just kind of expect a bit more really because it's not like he's coming from a foreign league with no Premier League experience. He's been in England for playing first team football for 3 years.
Yeah, but the thing is though, he's come from the Championship to the Premiership with Nottingham Forest. The coaches aren't as good as Tottenham's. Tottenham's coaches will be more intense. They'll try to get you to a better level than Nottingham Forest because, let's be realistic, Nottingham Forest is going down this season. And I hate to say it, half of it could be because of Tottenham because they took too long trying to buy him and you've messed up their fair play rule.
So apparently they were willing to sell him for 30 million earlier in the window and we bought him for 50
they were going to send him to Brentford. And that would have helped their financial fair play rule, but because they waited for your offer, it went past the fair play rule.
Yeah.
And that's what's pretty amazing. But let's get back onto the subject where I think that Spurs coaches are better than Nottingham Forest. The development of the players there is probably better. The facilities are better. I've picked up Spurs under 21 players or whatever you want to call them.
Because he's an Uber driver, just so you know, Harry, if you remember.
So
I picked
up Ben Davies as well, remember?
I picked up Ben Davies.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
I picked up Ben Davies from the Spurs ground, but I picked up some of them from the training ground. And looking at your facilities is mental. Like, absolutely love it. And I could only wish for my second club that's just around the corner from that training ground to have that one day.
Yeah, interesting. So, I just want to talk to Harry about this quickly. So obviously Richarlison is back. So this answer's kind of changed already. So everyone kind of expects Dragusin to walk in for Van der Ven. Now, I'm going to pose a weird question to you. Do you think he might pick someone like Ben Davies instead because he's left-footed?
No, not at all. Dragusin, listen, that's the beauty. We have a third strong centre-back. And that's that's a nice thing to be saying, and not many clubs have that. I look at Arsenal, and I don't think they have 3 strong centre backs, whereas we do, and that's why I think we're in some cases in a better position.
Timber as well.
I wouldn't count him as a strong centre back. I think he's injury prone and hasn't had many minutes. So for me, it's just Gabriel. He's okay, but he's doing okay because he's got Saliba next to him.
Why you bring Arsenal to this? I just asked you a question of what you think, David. Yeah,
just linking it. I can't remember why I brought it in. But
I was like, wait, this is a Tottenham podcast, right?
yeah.
Comparison. But no, Dragusin will come in for Van der Ven for me. Andrew's already confirmed today that will be the case, and I will do that anyway. Why risk Van der Ven? We've got an international break coming up, got all those hard games to come in April, and you've got a third strong centre back for me.
April onwards.
No, nor am I. But if you keep our best players fit, we have a chance. So but obviously with Vicario in goal, Dragusin, Romero, Porro, or Doggy, you move on to midfield. You have to keep it the same. Anyone with common sense would say that. Sarr, Basuma, and Maddison, and you have to keep the front three the same for me as well. I mean, I'll get conversations with it, but Richarlison for me probably just about makes the bench. And that's not based on form or anything, but based on he's injured, and I don't want him to come back and come back on engagement.
Son, right, wasn't it?
So be Johnson on the left because I think he can cause Castagna lots of problems more than he can cause Robinson. I'm a huge fan of Robinson. And on the right, Kulusevski. Robinson will have the pace over him, but Kulusevski is quite critical of him. He's quite clever. He cuts inside, and I think he could cause Robinson problems. And Son down the middle. I watched Fulham against Wolves, and I thought you're very good every time you go forward, but defensively, that line was very disjointed. There was lots of gaps. I think Bassey's obviously very new to that system, so he sometimes stood out a little bit. It's a bit higher, but I think that will glue over time. But I think we have a chance of it. I think there'll be goals in it. Put it this way: you've got Tottenham with Van der Ven. We know his pace, and we've got a Fulham side that's good going forward, but does leak goals.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So, Muzzy, without Van der Ven, which is obviously going to happen now, where do you think Fulham can exploit Spurs? Because you mentioned earlier that Van der Ven was a massive factor as to why you think we won the game at home.
I think he's a good player, and with Spurs, you don't know. One game Udogie could have a bad game, and you can exploit him. One day, who's the other side?
Porro.
All right, Porro could have a bad game, and you can exploit him. Like with Spurs, you don't know who's going to have a bad game. It's just what happens on the day. I feel like with Udogie, he's more of a player to expose though, because he's young. He can be reckless. We saw him at what he done against Chelsea.
He loves the yellow card.
Yeah, so him and João Plini will have a battle on who's going to get the first yellow cards. But I don't know where we can exploit you. But at the same time, the way Fulham play, sometimes we play so fast, so quick, just like Spurs. So it'll be very like the way we play our football, where it's very fast. It's just who's going to be more clinical on the night.
I know you're going right, so yeah. So do you expect Fulham to win tomorrow or not?
I mean, listen, we went 1-0 down against Arsenal. We came back 2-1. Anything can happen at Craven Cottage. We'll just have to find out. But I'm feeling positive because we are starting to play well. We haven't got any injuries, and let's just hope Silva puts out that strongest 11, gives them the right message. And when Adama Traore comes off the bench, we'll absolutely run ragged against whoever's on the booking.
So you expect Romero to do? Because interesting, you brought up someone like him because he's spoken openly. I think a couple of weeks ago, saying that he's noticed the needless yellow cards and stuff like that he's been picking up. He's trying to cut it out of his game. Do you expect someone like Paulinho to wind him up or something? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think Muniz, you've got the Brazilian Argentinian fuse there, and Pereira as well. We're going to be coming at you, and we are going to be running at you. It's not like Spurs are invincible and no one can run at them. And we are going to probably trigger Romero tomorrow, especially when you've got Pereira and Muniz, both Brazilians, and they'll be at him. They will, and it will be a feisty battle. Especially, it's like Muniz is a big guy. Like, I don't know if you
Yeah.
put it in the comments, but he bullied Brighton. He looks so good against Brighton, and I'm hoping that he plays really well tomorrow, where he flicks on them headers to Harry Wilson, and your centre backs or full-backs fall asleep, and Harry Wilson goes in, which is what he's good at, same as Iwobi as well.
I thought you guys got Iwobi.
Got Iwobi, got Willian. They're all, Traore. They all want to cause Tottenham problems. There's a lot of players. I look at Fulham and go, there's a lot of players who can change a game. I think we have it at Tottenham with your Johnsons and Werners, who are very good off the bench. I think Fulham have that. They create chances.
No, we do.
So that's the ultimate thing. Personally, if I'm being honest with you, it's nothing against Muniz, but I'm not worried about him in terms of. I know we haven't got Van der Ven, but I think generally we will be on top of that battle. But what I do worry about is if Paulinho gets control of that midfield, if Willian and in particular Harry Wilson have anyone find space, and one of our fullbacks gets a yellow card, that's an issue because they're easily swappable. So for me, it's massive. The midfield and the wingers compared to our fullbacks is absolutely massive, I think. And ultimately, I want to see who's in that Fulham starting 11. I think, as you say, you have a lot of attacking options available. There's a lot of good players to put in there. I don't personally know who will be in there. I think Willian has a good chance. Wilson's got to be in there for me, but we have to see what lineup looks like at 4:30 tomorrow.
Yeah. And you're going to be there, Easter Harry, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So before we go into an actual score prediction, I just want to ask you first, Harry, because top four is like everything you said, so it's top four race. Top four right now, yes or no? Because I know you spoke very confidently earlier.
What are you trying to say? But no, I'm seen generally as a positive fan, but also I'm very honest, and I don't think that we will get top four this year. I said that before the Villa game. Okay, very good result. Villa and Tottenham both have hard games, but I can't see us going to Anfield, St James's Park, Stamford Bridge, and getting a result.
As well.
And I panned it out, and I think we lose another 4 or 5 games. You just can't get top four with 12, 15 points dropped. So I'm afraid that for me, it's 5th place. If I'm being honest with you, I think that will be Champions League football. I've been very open about that. I think that it will come to England. It will be us. So I think 5th place will be enough for Champions League football. Regardless, I think we've come a long way. We're playing the right way. We're getting results. We're improving game by game. We've got a very good team, not only now, but for the future. So for me, I don't want to get too hung up whether we want, about top 4 or not. It'd be great to get it. But if not, we go again next season and we improve in the summer.
I agree with it. I think we're going to finish 5th. But that's partly because of our running. If our running was a bit easier, then maybe I would do something different. But
absolutely.
Do you think,
the confidence is
I
at
know
least.
mad, we both agree we're going to finish 5th. But do you think there's a possibility, considering our running, that we finish outside the top 5?
No, not at all. No. I think Man United are very inconsistent. No, I can't see it. And for me, and this sounds absolutely bonkers, but I think the team that have... See, they're not even going to get near us because they're too far away. But I think I look at someone like Chelsea and go, I think they'll have a strong end to the season. If I'm being totally honest with you, I looked at them against Villa in the Cup and thought they turned a corner. And the results have been okay, especially in the league since then. They've generally been quite consistent. They've finally got a team that's performing. They've finally found the right system. West Ham put a good run together. I think they could be quite close behind us, especially if they beat us. But Man United, I'm at this moment in time not worried about. So I think we're finished 5th. About 3-4 points.
So Villa 4th, right? Is that what you're saying? Villa 4th.
Villa 4th.
Okay, because they got the Conference League as well going on.
Can I be very clear here? I think it will be by 1 point. I think it'll be extremely tight.
Ooh. I generally think Villa will slip out. If they keep concentrating on the Conference League, their performance in the Prem won't be as good because then players don't want to get injured.
At this moment in time, it seems like we've got the advantage to get top 4, considering we've beaten them in the 6-pointer. And as you say, Villa got Conference League, but you never know Tottenham, as you said earlier.
We also yesterday didn't Ollie Watkins come off injured, so we'll see what happens with him as well. He's a main factor in their squad as well. So if he's injured and he's out for a couple of weeks, that could be massive for Spurs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's basically their goal scorer, isn't he? So please, everyone, like and subscribe to this channel. I mean, Harry's channel and TJ's not here. So I thought I'd put that out before I forget. Okay, so now we're going to go into the score predictions. This is going to get interesting, I guess. I'm going to go first. I'm going to say Spurs will win 3-2.
Confidence from you. I didn't expect that.
Because and I'm going to win it by late goal. I think it won't be like an easy game. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Spurs.
98th minute, Bassey own goal.
Whoa, that's far.
I mean, because we tend to win the game quite late at Fulham over the last few years. Harry Winks.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
Lewis Holtby. And I just think we'll concede at least 2 goals because Fulham are at home. And I think we won those end-to-end Saturday night matches. And in the end, we'll score like a late goal from like Son or something. I don't know. And we'll scrape it. Harry, your prediction?
See, I think I'll be negative. You know, we've just beaten Villa, and I'm going. We're going to finish outside the top 4, which seems bizarre. And then I'm going to go. I don't think we're going to win at Fulham. I just know what Tottenham like. I don't think we're necessarily going to go to Fulham and not perform, but I think Fulham will be up for it. And I think that there'll be a lot of chance. I think it'll be end to end. I think you sum it up perfectly. I think it'll be full, proper one for the neutrals. I'll go with 1-1. For me, I'll stuck between 1-1 and 2-2. I think the defences will be in trouble. So 1-1. Believe it or not, can we just mark this date down? House has gone for a Spurs win and I've gone for a draw. I think every single show I go for a win and you go for either a loss or a draw. So this is a very rare occasion.
Not really, Harry, because we both predicted us to beat Chelsea. We're both wrong and TJ was right. Don't you remember?
Again, yeah, no, I do remember that. And that was unfortunate. I don't think since then that we predicted the same outcome. Wonder why.
I have to watch got through all of them. I don't think it's as bad as people make out. I don't predict us to win. I just think when he gets to like certain games, I find it very hard to predict.
No, but you sat there and went, we're going to draw against Crystal Palace at home. I mean, come on.
Because I've seen us draw against teams like that at home.
So I generally feel like you two are worse than a married couple.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
I've never heard so much bickering in one podcast.
You should come here when TJ's here. If TJ was here, you'd be sitting in the corner, sitting there just watching us argue for like 2 hours.
I feel like I am in that corner already.
No, trust me. If you think this is bad,
you should check out Friday when TJ should be back. I promise you.
Just watch how it's just
that is
amazing. You start on one topic and we end up going something completely different.
Yeah, we divert. Completely divert.
Muzzy, I'm expecting not Spurs win as a prediction, but
absolutely not. I think Fulham are going to win 2-1. I think we'll go 2-0 up and then we'll let in a late goal. But I think Fulham will be very tight at the back and they'll threaten them wings. And I generally feel like we'll get a 2-1 win. You know, we got a 2-1 win at United away. We got a 2-1 win at Arsenal at home. Well, let's get a double on the North London teams, eh?
But what do you think is the difference between us playing you at your ground compared to ours?
We're actually scoring. We weren't actually scoring back then. Like we were struggling to find who's going to be our striker. Where it was Muniz, Jimenez.
A lot of injuries as well.
We had injuries too, but we also had a very, your keeper made a very good save in the first 5 minutes when Zhao had a header, and he made an amazing save in the south stands section. But I just feel like our team's more connected now. We're actually got a philosophy how to play without Mitrovic. That was our biggest worry. Next year our biggest worry is going to be how we're going to play without João Palhinha, because I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to stay. Bassey was playing on the wrong side as well. Bassey's now in a more comfortable position, playing next to Tosin. Them two have got an amazing partnership together, and we're hoping that them two are solid together. But I'd say my biggest fear is Robinson. All right, although Harry likes him, he would be a world beater if he knew how to cross the ball.
Yeah.
That's his only downfall. Like, you'll see, he'll cross the ball and it'll either go straight to your keeper or it will go for a throw. But I generally feel like we're going to win 2-1 tomorrow. I'm not putting money on it because I'm not that confident. But
All right. Okay. Also, before we let you go as well, because we're going to finish up probably in like 10 minutes, I just want to ask you on your predictions for Fulham for the rest of the season. Do you guys have any hopes for getting into Europe at all still? I don't know. I haven't really seen that sort of table.
Top 10.
I think, top 10 I'll be happy with if we get into 8th position, which is a Europa Conference position, I'm guessing. That would be a
Eighth.
bonus. Is it 8th? Yeah. So I reckon if we get to 8th, that'll be a bonus. But if we get top 10, above Chelsea, above Brentford, that'll be a beautiful finish to the season.
I love the West London battle in the middle of the table
Above
again.
Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea's come and join us. They felt left out. So
Brentford they've fallen down this season. They've not joined the party.
No, fair play to the £1 billion bottle jobs. They want to join us in the middle of the table. I don't mind.
Yeah. But while we talk about money, I mean, I could be completely wrong here, Muzzy, but I get the impression that if FFP didn't exist, I think Fulham would be in a completely different place. I think that the money's
100%.
there.
I mean, you look at Fulham; they've got the 7th richest owner in the league. You know, our owners also own an American football team. They also own AEW, which is starting to become one of the biggest wrestling companies in the world now.
Okay.
And our owners do have money. It's just the chairman's son is an absolute Fruit Loop that doesn't know how to just concentrate on one thing. You know, if you see my Twitter, you see me calling
I
him
like
a
that
clown half the
description.
time.
Yeah.
You know, he is a clown. You know, but they seem to love him in America because he focuses on the American football. If he only focused on Fulham for a little bit, bloody hell, would be a world-beaten team one day with the money we have.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, do you think FFP will like help Spurs? Because I know that's Harry's argument for the past few months. That because of
He is helping us now. Teams aren't spending money, and Tottenham are. It feels like Tottenham's transfer window.
Yeah, but what's it? Tottenham have just sold a £100 million player, so they can have that. But other teams don't have them kind of sales, so they're struggling more. You see the Everton charge. All right, they got 4 points back, but they've got another charge incoming. They've got Nottingham Forest, who signed like 20 or half a league last year. And now they're getting done for the charges as well.
Everton got done twice right now, isn't it? I think.
Everton, yeah, they're still waiting for their second. You know, you got Chelsea. Their owners actually came out and pointed the fact that, oh right, something went wrong in these years, which dumbass. But yeah, and then you've got Man City, who have got 115 charges, which they think is all incorrect, and they've done nothing wrong. And I hope that it bites them in the arse and they go down into the Conference North.
Interesting. Okay. Obviously, it's the West London rivalry, isn't it? Is the Fulham Chelsea game like a massive derby then? As in, because I didn't really sit down to watch it. I must confess, because obviously North London derby, as you know, is like one of the biggest derbies probably in the world. I'll argue.
I tell you what, it's only big for Tottenham Arsenal because where Arsenal are and where Tottenham are. With Fulham, we still call it the SW6 derby. It's still big for us if we win it. If we lose it, we're going to lose anyway. What do you expect? They spent £1 billion, but if we win it, we're massive. You know.
So Muzzy, where do you see Spurs finishing this season, and like where do you see the future under Ange? I know obviously you're a Fulham fan, but it's good to ask someone who's like an outside viewer because obviously Spurs fans have their own biases.
I mean, like I've said in the past, living in a house with Spurs fans, I've watched Tottenham a lot.
Yeah.
So,
what does your brother think of Ange, for example? Like, I'm just curious.
He seems to like Ange. You know, the football compared to the last few managers you've had have been so boring, so slow. It's like I can happily sit down now and I'll actually be excited to watch Tottenham play because it's actually exciting football.
Yeah.
You know, the high line, the press. You know, when I watched that Chelsea game, all right, you lost 4-1, but as Harry said, the reason he clapped is because the team still put everything into that game, and that's all Ange wants. That's all the fans want. That's all everyone's wanted, and you've finally got it. You know, so I feel like Spurs can sneak into the top 4. I feel like they can. You know, they can easily get a draw against Liverpool. They can easily get the draws at Newcastle away, although last season, let's not talk about Newcastle away. That was a bloody nightmare. That was a car crash, 5-0 or something before half time.
It was 5-0 in 20 minutes, I think.
I think my brother left. He missed
19 minutes.
My brother left after 4-0, so he was actually gutted he missed the 5th Newcastle goal. And but no, I generally feel like Spurs can get the top 4. I feel that the way Ange is playing is so exciting. It's so attacking.
I didn't know that. Bakary and Udogie being called up. for Italy. Wow, I didn't. Is that Macquarie's first call up, or I don't know.
As far as I know, I don't think he's played a minute.
I know Destiny's been in the side for a while. I mean, he even played like amazing against England. So
yeah, still not a lot of minutes though. If I'm being honest with you, but it was while we were on air, so I've just seen that now.
Yeah, because I saw your comment. That's how I saw it.
Can I put a question? Can I put a question to Muzzy?
Yeah.
Go on.
So firstly, I'm gonna do about Fulham and Tottenham. So firstly, it's very bold from here. What do you think the aim is for next season for Fulham, but also for Tottenham?
I mean, for Tottenham, top 4.
Again, next season or more? That's what he meant, next season.
Yeah. Next season.
Sorry, next season.
Yeah, no, for next season, I feel like Tottenham should still focus on top 4 for just one more season. You know, you can't just rush and try and win the league. Although,
no, absolutely not.
No. But I generally feel like top 4 for Tottenham is a basic thing. I think it has to be top 4. With Fulham, we need to see if we actually sell João Palhinha first.
That's massive, isn't it? Absolutely.
If we sell João Palhinha, we need to try and stay up. I feel like he's that much of a loss. But at the same time, when we missed him for 2 games, we beat Man United and Brighton. So, are we really going to miss him? We're still going to miss him because his.
Who's his backup or replacement, whatever it is at Fulham? Like who comes in when he's injured? Is it Tom Brady?
What's it? Sasa Lukic.
Sasa Lukic.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him. So
you got a price tag as well on Palhinha.
He nearly went to Bayern, right?
He nearly went to Bayern for 60 million. And
he's worth more than that.
Yeah, 100%, which is why he signed a new contract at the beginning of the season.
It would probably for 80 million, probably. We're talking.
I'll be happy with. I mean,
I think you get 1995. To be honest,
I feel like we can get them triple digits just because he's made the most tackles in Europe last year. All right, he got 30 more tackles.
Would you classify him as an elite player? Don't mind me asking. I haven't seen enough of him to really judge.
All right. So let me just say this point quickly.
Yeah.
Last season, he made 30 more tackles and second place in the Prem. All right. And then Casado and Declan Rice both went for triple digits. Why shouldn't Palhinha go for triple digits? That's all.
I don't bring this up. It's just on previous recordings, I made points about cost of players actually making like a difference in terms of quality.
As is obsessed with cost, right? See, Muzzy, just to give you some context, we've had really 2 good windows, but because we haven't splashed the cash on an individual, Has thinks that it's a bad window.
No, I'm saying that the top players cost 80 million. The top players cost 80 million plus. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, but
not necessarily.
What's it? You do have Daniel Levy, who is so tight with money, who will try to squirm out, an extra 25p out of a player's, because he's that tight.
25p.
So
packet Watsits.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that obviously we signed Johnson was 50, Van der Ven was around the same.
I mean, Maddison
was around the same. Would you classify these players as like? Also, you said Palhinha will cost 80 to 100 million, possibly, right? Probably more than 100, right? But is it because you classify, say, him as a higher quality than those players?
Oh, I definitely class João Palhinha as a world-class player.
This one, I'm asking this question because I want to see what you.
It gets to most teams.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say to you, Harry. These players, they cost 80 to 100 million. These world-class players.
Oh, I know what you're saying, but we don't need that right now. We've done.
What do you mean we don't need world-class players? How do you say we don't need world-class players?
Oh, we don't. I don't think we do it at this moment in time. I like the way we go about it.
We don't need world-class players. Did you just say that?
Not at this moment in time. Yes,
how can you not need world-class players? I don't understand.
We don't right now.
I'm generally trying to look for a white flag to wave across the screen.
How can someone literally say we don't need world-class players? I just don't
think we in the 2 windows, maybe in the summer, but not in the 2 windows we've seen because we went for a rebuild. You can't, you want to bring in these world-class players. We wouldn't be able to bring in the players we brought in now, which is the reason we're even in the top 4 battle. So I don't know
I
what
want more than top 4, which is why I want to bring in these world-class players.
But not in Andrew's first season.
I generally feel like don't go out there and try and buy a world-class player because sometimes you'll feel left disappointed. Look at Chelsea. But then you look at Leicester. You also look at Leicester, who barely spent any money and they won the league.
But that was 3,000 to 1.
It's not about money. It's about recruitment.
Of course it was 3,000 to 1. But, their scouting team done an amazing job finding them players. Look at Brighton, for instance. Brighton, if they kept every single one of their players, they'd be world beaters. If you look at Southampton, if they kept all their players, they'd be world beaters.
Our recruitment in the last 2 windows has been sublime. It's been absolutely excellent, and it needs recognition. It's been very good. Vicario, Van der Ven, people who suit the system. Vicario, we saved money and ultimately got the better goalkeeper. Van der Ven, his pace really suits the system. For me, we've got it right. Timo Werner, absolute no-brainer for me. I know that people disagree with me, but for me, Werner's a no-brainer. I think that's good business by the club. Oh, why wouldn't you want to sign him? People worry about the price tag. We've got a player who can play in numerous different positions, can have an impact on a game, and can ultimately win a game.
Yeah, but I don't think Werner was because of the price tag. I think it's because he's next Chelsea.
No. With Werner, also you need to think about this also. And this is someone, by the way, who actually likes Werner as a player. By the way, just before everyone starts saying I hate him or something.
Oh, yeah. Are you one of those Werner likers but Johnson haters? That's you.
Oh my god! I'm saying that the guy because let's face it, right? His second spell at Leipzig's not been great. His spell at Chelsea wasn't great. His first spell at Leipzig was amazing. Like he was like a really good striker back then.
Yeah.
But the reason we got him for so cheap is because of these factors. Like he's fallen off a cliff. He used to be very good, but we're taking a massive, like not a massive gamble because he's only going to cost 15 million if we buy him. But this is a gamble signing. It's not like you're spending like 80 million, bringing I don't know a Sane or something from Bayern or. That kind of player who he's going to come in, he's going to get you 10 to 15 goals a season off the wing, guaranteed. He can put a ball in. You look at City and they had Mahrez in the past, who cost, obviously back then 60 million was quite a lot. But now Mahrez will probably cost like 80 to 90 million in the equivalent of the time span. So it's not like that. So it's a gamble signing, really. I'm not saying we're against it. I'm just saying it's a gamble. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Well, for 15
Even though
million.
It's a cheap gamble, it's still a gamble because. And then he's taking up a spot that could have been taken.
I think Van der Ven was a bigger gamble. A player that only had 1 year to prove himself for 43 million. That is proper gamble. Not for a player who's done it year in, year out for 15 million. For me, just isn't a gamble. But we agree to disagree.
Also Werner's 27. Van der Ven's like 22. The chance of you getting your money back for Van der Ven in a few years is a lot higher.
I feel like Spurs will make one marquee signing as usual every year. I feel like
Maddison was last year.
Yeah, so then I feel like you can't do a January marquee buy because it's halfway through the season. It's always a risk. But if you buy a player pre-season, you blend them into the philosophy. They'll be a good player. But it's just you've got to try get a player not because of their name, because they can fit into your Spurs squad. It doesn't matter about the name sometimes. Like when João Plini first joined Fulham, I did not expect him to be how he is now. Like you're thinking, bloody hell, like come on, that's amazing. So, and I think he only cost us like 20 odd mil. You're looking at that player. He's 20 mil, and look what he's doing in the Prem. He's ripping it up with the tackle stats. He's probably the first player to get 100 tackles in Europe. So, you look at that price tag, and then you look at Man United who have spent 80 million on a bloody striker, and he's only just started scoring, then he gets injured.
To be fair to Højlund, I actually think that's a very good player in there, but.
I'm not doubting there is, but some players they might not be amazing now. Like you might buy them young, which Højlund is, and how some players for Spurs are that you signed. It takes a year to get ready in the Prem.
But obviously about Spurs' past history of not winning a trophy in 16 years and being so close in the sense of under Poch we finished second and third.
Tottenham didn't win a trophy in 6. Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. and then obviously under Harry we were close-ish. We went to a final, we went to a few semi-finals. But do you think, for example, my argument was always that if we had, say, 2 or 3 world-class players during those time periods, in addition to what we had, we'd probably do it, right? Do you think Ange will push us over the line or not?
I don't know, because some Spurs fans were frustrated with when you lot played us in the Carabao Cup because
we rested the whole players. Yeah.
Exactly. So if Ange really wanted a trophy, he would have gone for that cup. If in the FA Cup, you got unlucky. You played City away. That sucks. Was it City away? Or was it home?
City at home, yeah.
But still, City at home, yeah, it sucks. You're playing the best team in the world, which I hate to say. And so you got unlucky with that, but next year, take the Carabao Cup serious. Take it serious. Stop doing these 9 changes. I don't even like it when I go to Fulham matches and they do 9 changes. I'm thinking, I've just paid 20, 30 quid and I'm watching some players that have only just been given a pro contract.
You can't put a pass together without a ball going out of play. It's proper poor.
100%. Like, but I mean, Spurs' team wasn't bad when they played us.
I'll never forget when we played Rotherham in the FA Cup under Conte, where we won 3-1 in the end, right? But I was there myself. Tickets were fairly cheap, as you can imagine, on the day. We went 1-0 down because we made so many changes, but the passing was awful. 14 different times I counted where passes just went out of play. It was honestly shocking. We're talking Winks was in the team, Skip was in the team, Session in the team. It was that kind of, not putting it on them, but it was that kind of players in the team. And we had to we brought Lucas, Son, and Kane on, scored 3 goals and won 3-1.
I remember I was at that game, but I think Levy forces them to rest players in these games. So
I'm not going to discuss something where we don't know what happens.
If you watch a documentary,
I've seen
Levy's very close to the players, and he speaks a lot to like Jose. If you watch it,
but was it just because the camera's there? I don't think he's that close now. I don't think he's seen the players all year, to be honest with you.
No, his office is next to the. It's the same office that was in the. It hasn't changed.
Some people like the camera.
I just said his office is right next to where the players are.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Hardly means anything.
What is that office for then? Like to sit there and like just do nothing?
Probably doesn't use it. He's probably got loads of offices.
I think.
Basically,
the rumors are that Jose got sacked because he wanted to rest players in the Premier League for the Cup
rumors
final, and they also fell out of the Super League as well. That's what I heard. But to sack a manager 5 days before a final is obviously it's actually criminal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I disagree with it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's one of the reasons I've heard why. But yeah. All right. So before we end the stream, Muzzy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter. My name's Muzzy Boy with BOII at the end. That's really the best place. You'll see me winding up every fan possible. Maybe yourselves one day. Who knows? But yeah, you'll find me. You'll find me on Twitter.
Yeah. And Harry, it's a bit silly the question. Where can we find you?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me once again, as we do every Friday.
This week he didn't mess up the show.
No, last week, I'd like to. I haven't apologised on this channel yet on Spurs Kings TV. I'd like to officially apologise because you remember last Friday we had technical issues. Has and TJ were fuming. It was secretly me. That was amazing fun tinkering with the system, tinkering with the sound, checking people out. So I do apologise to the chat. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's quite entertaining, quite funny. Someone speaks and they cut off, but no, that was deliberate. Don't worry. There's no bug in the system. It was just me. Felt like it. But if you want to follow me, you can there. Harry Scarf 22. I'm at Craven Cottage tomorrow. I'm in the press box. Really excited to be going. Film some content with Barney there, who obviously should be in the chat. You can check out my channel, Scarfy Spurs. This has actually been duo stream too. You can find matchday vlogs, duo stream.
Trio stream. I don't know. It's on my channel as well. So yeah.
Let's go. Triple stream, whatever. Yeah. Match reactions, match previews, weekly live shows, matchday vlogs, and potentially a rival show coming midweek as well.
Yeah, JJ knew it was you.
You did. You called it as well. I can see you hinting. I love that.
What nightclub can we find you? You're more likely to find Muzzy at a nightclub if Fulham win tomorrow. Yeah.
You see me in Shoreditch.
Yeah, in Shoreditch.
Yeah, big up guys in the chat as well.
Big up. Okay, so you find me at Harry. Find me at Hotspur TV. I do batch reactions. I live stream like once a week, sort of. I didn't do this week because unfortunately
he's very lazy.
Not that actually. I've actually had a lot of issues with cars and stuff at the moment, but thankfully it's all fixed now. So I'm a bit actually
locked out your car or
no. So there was a lot of issues. It's hard to explain.
Right. Okay.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah, no worries.
So yeah, and so you can find me at Hotspur TV, Muzzy at Muzzy Boy, and Harry at Harry's Scarfy Spurs Talk. And see you guys later, and come when you Spurs.
Come when you Spurs. 4-0